Well, my reef crashed. Hey YouTube, it's Brian from aquaticsupportsystems.com and Brian's Fish Tanks. As you can see behind me, this reef looks awful. My reef crashed recently and I'm going to have to go ahead and basically reset it. What happened? Well, the return pump died on me, completely burnt out. Problem is I didn't notice it for at least a day, possibly longer. I'm not quite sure, but it was a situation where I hadn't been in a position to be near the tank for at least a day, and when I finally noticed it, all the corals were closed up and looked like they were about to die. And you know, so I started investigating, and it turns out that the return pump basically had burnt out. So I put in an emergency return pump to get me through, hoping that things would bounce back, and did some 50% water changes for several days in a row. But you know, by that time it was just too late. Lost all the corals, lost some of the fish and invertebrates, but not everything. I've still got my 2 clown pairs, my royal grama, pistol shrimp, and the goby that it hangs out with as well, so that's good. But I lost peppermint shrimp, I lost cleaner shrimp, I lost fire shrimp, and I lost 4 nems that were in there. So there's a lot of organics in this tank, so I got to break it down and make sure everything's out. The rock in there should have enough good bacteria so that I can reuse those. So basically I've got salt water mixed up at this point, and I'm just going to go ahead and drain out all the water, clean off the rocks to make sure that any organics, you know, dead anemones, dead fish, invertebrates, whatever, that are stuck within those rocks, that I can get all that off. I'll go ahead and put the rock back in and fill it up with water, and then hopefully we'll get this thing back in action soon. Before I start tearing it down, I'll just kind of give you a closer look. As you can see, diatoms have started going crazy because of you know, the issue. There's one of the clowns up there. This awesome Monty that I had on the top is dead. This nice leather I had is dead. Everything in there, all the corals are just dead. So it's really unfortunate. It's really an eyesore to look at, but you know, we live and learn. It just goes to show that even if you've got battery backups and you're doing everything right, if you're not around the tank and something goes wrong, like a pump going out, you know, it can mess everything up. You can take all the precautions in the world, and sometimes there's really nothing that you can do. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start draining this and cleaning the rocks. All right, so I've got the tank emptied out except for the sand. I did a real good vacuuming of that, as you can see during the time lapse. What I'm going to do is clean out all the components in the back of the sump area, and then also install this new Coralife pump. It was the same one that failed, but it did last me close to 4 years, 3.5, so I'm going to use that for the time being until I can afford to upgrade to the CHA 1.5. There was some pretty nasty smells in there, some pretty nasty parts of snails and anemones and things like that. The Royal Grama isn't looking too good. I'm not expecting, well, I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it. Didn't find any other surprises as far as any other alive fish except for one snail, or excuse me, one hermit crab. But the smells were nasty. There was a lot of nasty organics on the rocks and caught in between the rocks, but I think we're gonna be able to get this thing going again. So we're gonna go clean out the components. I'll come back and put rocks back in, and we'll try to do what we can to get the same style of aquascape, hardscape I should say, and then we'll go ahead and fill the tank back up. All right, the tank is filled and I've got it aquascaped. I'm gonna hit the, so you can see that a little bit better, but yeah, it went fairly good, all things considered. Took me a couple of hours, and you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna put the fish back in the tank now because they're sitting in water with ammonia. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so here's what we've got. You can see the two clowns over in that tank. There's one snail that made it. And then I've got the Royal Grama, goby, I forget which type that is now. I've had them so long. Pistol shrimp is there. And the firefish, as you can see, did not make it. That's a whole nother story. And I forgot to mention earlier that there was a strawberry crab that I found in the rocks when I was cleaning it out downstairs. We're gonna go ahead first and, whoa, did you see that? Clownfish came out. We're just gonna get him in the water. Whew, that was a close one. We'll just grab this snail by hand here. My one snail that made it throughout all this, and then we got the pistol and the, just do one at a time here. There goes the pistol. Digging himself in the sand already. These guys are like, wow, we got clean water. Goes the Royal Grama, the Goby, and the Strawberry Crab. Look at how bad this water looked. They're gonna love it. So anyway, that is the process that I went through when my Reef crashed, and I had to go ahead and basically reboot it. So we're gonna see if it works. I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know if you would have done anything different, constructive criticism. Until next time, I appreciate you guys watching. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell next to it as well. Give it a like I say, leave a comment. But until next time, thanks for watching and stay tuned.